And it goes a little something like
Let us first know who is Erik Erikson. He was the 20th century psychologist who developed the theory of psychosocial development and the concept of an identity crisis. He was also a Danish German-American developmental psychologist and psychoanalyst known for his theory on psychological development of human beings, and coined the phrase identity crisis. Now, what is psychosocial development? It's a fancy phrase that refers to how a person's individual needs mesh with the needs or demands of society. According to Erickson, a person passes through 8 developmental stages that build on each other. At each stage, we face a crisis. Before we proceed to the 8 stages, let me tell you about the overview. So what exactly did Erickson's theory of psychosocial development entail? Much like Sigmund Freud, Erickson believed that the personality developed in a series of stages. Unlike Freud's theory of psychosocial stages, however, Erickson's theory described the impact of social experience across the whole lifespan. Erickson was interested in how social interaction and relationship played a role in the development and growth of human beings. Sigmund Freud's psychosexual theory and Erik Erickson's psychosocial theory are 2 well-known theories of development. While he was influenced by Freud's ideas, Erickson's theory differed in a number of important ways. Now let us proceed to the 8 stages of psychosocial development. First off is trust versus mistrust. At this point in development, the child is utterly dependent upon adult caregivers for everything they need to survive, including food, love, warmth, safety, and nurturing. If a caregiver fails to provide adequate care and love, the child will come to feel that they cannot trust or depend upon the adults in their life. And if a child successfully develops trust, the child will feel safe and secure in the world. Caregivers who are inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, or rejecting contribute to feelings of mistrust in the children under their care. Second is autonomy versus shame and doubt. At this point in development, the children are just starting to gain a little independence. They are starting to perform basic actions on their own and making simple decisions about what they prefer. Allowing kids to make choices and gain control, parents and caregivers can help children develop a sense of autonomy. And then the outcomes will be the children who struggle and who are ashamed for their accidents may be left without a sense of personal control. Success during this stage is psychosocial development leads to feelings of autonomy. Failure results in feelings of shame and doubt. Next is the initiative versus guilt. The third stage of psychosocial development takes place during the preschool years. At this point of psychosocial development, children begin to assert their power and control over the world through directing play and other social interactions. So, children who are successful at this stage feel capable and able to lead others. And those who fail to acquire these skills are left with a sense of guilt, self-doubt, and lack of initiative. Next off is the industry and inferiority. The fourth psychosocial stage takes place during the early school years from approximately ages 5 to 11. Social interactions, children begin to develop a sense of pride in their accomplishments and abilities. They also need to cope with the social and academic demands. Success leads to a sense of competence, while failure results in feelings of inferiority. Next is the identity versus confusion. This stage plays an essential role in developing of personal identity, which will continue to influence behavior and development for the rest of a person's life. Teens need to develop a sense of self and personal identity. This leads to an ability to stay true to yourself, while failure leads to real confusion and weak sense of self. In this stage also, we begin to acquire a sense of identity, where Here, some questions may be asked to yourself. You are happy or what are you feeling? Next is intimacy versus isolation. Erickson believed it was vital that people develop close, committed relationship with other people. Those who are successful at this step will form relationships that are enduring and secure. Remember, each step builds on skills learned in the previous steps. He also believed that a strong sense of personal identity was important for developing intimate relationship. At this stage, we began to feel to be with someone. Seventh is the generativity versus stagnation. Adults need to create or nurture things that will outlast them, often by having children or creating a positive change that benefits other people. While failure results in shallow involvement in the world. Lastly, the integrity versus despair. The final psychosocial stage occurs during old age and is focused on reflecting back on life. At this point in development, people look back on the events of their lives and determine if they are happy with the life that they lived or if they regret the things they did or didn't do. At this stage, people reflect back on the events of their lives and take stock. Those who look back on life feel was well lived will feel satisfied and ready to end of their lives with a sense of peace. Those who look back and only feel regret will instead feel fearful that their lives will end without accomplishing the things they feel they should have. Why it is important to the teachers to know the Erickson'S theory of psychosocial development? Because it is important to ensure that students will attain mastery of each stage in Erickson's theory without conflict. Specific classroom activities that teachers can incorporate into their classrooms during the 3 stages that include school-aged children. The main goal of Erickson's theory is that learning to trust the world and those around us is the key focus of the psychosocial stage of development. Responding quickly and appropriately to your infant's cries, you are building a foundation of trust.